All right, good morning everybody. With yoga, I generally check with the participants whether, if there's any ailments or body aches that you want to share, please let me know. So we'll just go around real quick and check in and say, hey, if you have any body ailments, just feel free to share.
Just got back problems.
Back problems, all right. Tummy ache. And Denny? Nothing. All right, just with any yoga practice, just know that do what's best for you. And if in the middle of an asana, if you just want to lay down, feel free to lay down. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to invite you all to just stand on up. And really, because it's the beginning of the morning, we're really just going to focus on building up some energy. Let's go ahead and just start by maybe grounding our feet. Just placing your hands by your side. Let's go ahead and inhale, bring our toes all the way up. And as we exhale, just go ahead and drop your toes to the mat. And we'll do that for 3 breaths. Inhale, toes up. Exhale, release. Inhaling up. Exhaling. One more time. Inhaling up. And exhale, release. On our next inhale, let's go ahead and come up onto the balls of our feet. Inhaling up. And exhale, release those heels to the mat. Inhaling up. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. Couple breaths here. Just notice what's really building up at the bottom of your feet. And when you're ready, slowly drop your chin to your chest. We're going to slowly rotate our necks. Try to draw a big circle with your chin. Let's go ahead and change directions. And slowly come to a pause. For our next inhale, let's go ahead and just bring those shoulders all the way up to our ears. And as we exhale, can we squeeze our shoulder blades together? Slowly release down. Inhaling up. Exhale, squeeze and release. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. All right. For the next one, we're going to inhale, take our hands and place them on our shoulders. We're just going to draw circles with our elbows. And when you're ready, go ahead and change directions. And at your own pace, slowly release. All right, let's go ahead and make sure we have a wider stance than what we're having right now. And a slight buoyancy right in our knees. All right, we're just gonna do what I like to call ringing the Shaolin bell. We're just gonna really rotate your bodies, tapping into your kidneys. Let's go ahead and bring that energy right on up to our chest. up to our shoulders, giving ourselves a pat on the back. Back down to the chest, to the kidneys, and slowly coming to a pause. Let's go ahead and bring our big toes together. Take our hands, we're going to place them right above our knees. We're just going to slowly rotate our knees. You might feel a little stiffness there. You might notice. Just trying to loosen it up a little. Go ahead and change directions. And when you're ready, slowly come on up. Let's go ahead and take a step forward with our left foot. We're just slowly going to draw circles with our ankles. Go ahead and change directions. And let's go ahead and step on back. Right foot forward. And drawing circles. Changing directions. And let's go ahead and step on back. From here, you're just going to come into a slight jog. And just drawing into your mind any stressors you've had throughout the previous week. Just allowing them to fade right into the mat. Maybe you notice it helps if you shake your hands, your shoulders, maybe give it a little shimmy. Just allowing whatever you're holding on to flow away. And when you're ready, slowly come to a pause. Just finding that rooted position in our feet once again. A few breaths here. And when you're ready, we're going to come into a seated position. Let's come on down. And in this session, we'll begin a bit differently than we usually do. We'll start by actually reclining on our backs. So go ahead and just slowly recline onto your backs. So with your next inhale, let's go ahead and inhale, bring that left knee towards your chest. You'll take your hands, clasp them, and just a gentle tug on that left leg to draw it deeper to your chest. And with a subtle movement, can you flex your toes, pointing towards your head? Couple breaths here. And when you're ready, you're going to slowly release those hands and extend that left leg where the foot is all the way up towards the ceiling. Take your hands and just place them right behind your thighs, that left thigh. And maybe it's just a gentle pull here. And as you're pulling with your hands, can you use that left thigh to push back against your hands? Just a subtle movement here. Couple breaths here. And when you're ready, go ahead and bend that left leg and open those arms up into T. And as you exhale, can you drop that left knee to your right? Coming into a twisted position here. And while you're in this position, as you breathe, can you bring your awareness to where your belly is? And on your next inhale, let's go ahead and bring that left knee back to center. And on our exhale, let's go ahead and drop that left knee to our left. Just opening up our hips here. And you can feel free to take your left hand and place it on the inner left thigh, just as a guide. And when you're ready, slowly release. Bring the arms back into T, bringing that left knee back to center. And we're going to slowly just take our hands, walk it all the way up to our feet. And just taking your middle finger and your index finger, just wrapping it around that big toe. Kind of like a hook. And you're going to slowly, as you exhale, extend that left leg up just as much as you can. You'll notice it's that same pull motion from your hands and a push motion from your left feet. Couple breaths here. And when you're ready, you're going to take both hands now. You're just going to grab that left foot. It's going to come across your body. It's going to hold it there. Maybe it's a gentle rocking motion left and right. As we prepare for our hip opener, slowly come still. And with our next inhale, let's go ahead and bring that right knee and right leg so that it touches that left foot. You might notice there's this triangle that you've just built right between your legs. What you'll do is you'll take your left hand, put it right between your legs, and just slowly grab your right shin. And the same thing here, you can rock left and right. Just notice for yourself any openings you're creating. And at your own pace, we're going to slowly release those arms into T. Legs are still crossed, but that right foot meets the mat. Let's go ahead and take a deep inhale. And as we exhale, can we drop the legs to the right? And here, you can feel free to take that right hand, slowly guiding the top of that left leg. Building that same awareness as we inhale. Just notice how the belly moves. And when you're ready, slowly release. Inhale, bring those legs back to center. And as we exhale, we'll drop them to the left. Couple breaths here. And at your own pace, bring it back to center. And slowly uncross that left leg. And just stretch both legs all the way out. And maybe just shake them a little. Alright, slowly come to a pause. We spent some time on our left leg. Let's go ahead and give that same love to our right side. Let's go ahead and with our next inhale, bring that right knee towards our chest and just clasp our hands together, slowly drawing that right knee closer to our chest. And as a challenge, adding that subtle movement where our toes are flexed, pointing towards our head. Couple breaths here. And when you're ready, slowly extending that right leg all the way up, taking our hands, just placing it behind that right thigh, coming into that same pull and push motion we did on the left side. Couple breaths here. And when you're ready, slowly bend that right leg. Just open those arms up into T. And as we exhale, and we drop that right leg to the left. Just noticing the belly as we breathe. Go ahead and inhale, bring it back up to center. Exhale, dropping that right leg to the right. And let's go ahead and take that right hand and be a gentle guide on that inner right thigh. And when you're ready, slowly release. Bring that right leg back up to center. And here we're just going to take our hands, slowly climb up our legs. We're just going to take that middle finger and index finger on our right hand. Really just grab that big toe. And we're going to come into the same push and pull motion as we slowly just try to extend that right leg as much as we can towards the ceiling. And at your own pace, slowly take that left hand, just release that right hand, just grab that right foot and just bring it across your body. Here we're just going to do a slight rocking motion, opening up any tightness that we feel. And slowly come to a pause. And with our next inhale, can we inhale that left leg up and really just pressing it against that right foot, creating that same triangle between our legs. This time we're going to take our right hand, place it right on through, and just take our hands and grab that left shin as we draw that left knee closer to our chest. Feel free to rock left and right, whatever feels best for you. This is a great time just to notice for ourselves what's the difference from the left side of our bodies and the right side. What have we noticed throughout this practice so far? And at your own pace, just slowly coming to a pause, releasing our hands into T, and that left feet come to meet the mat. And with our next exhale, let's go ahead and drop those legs to the left. And let's go ahead and take that left hand as a gentle guide onto that right thigh. Let's go ahead and slowly release. Inhale back to center. And with our exhale, let's go ahead and drop it to the right. A couple breaths here. And at your own pace, bring it back to center. Uncrossing that right leg. And really just allowing both legs to fully extend out. And just shaking them. you finish shaking them, you're just gonna roll over to one side. Slowly push yourselves up. You'll find yourself in this seated position here. And at your own pace, we're going to make our way onto all fours. Just really firmly planting our hands onto the mat. And just knees about hip width apart. Just going to take this time to really spread our fingers onto this mat. And with our next inhale, we're going to come into what's known as cow. We're going to slowly just raise our heads up, just gazing up at the ceiling as we squeeze our shoulder blades together. And as we exhale, can we draw our chin to our chest as we round our back? Inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat. And inhaling, gazing up into cow. Exhaling into cat. One more time. Inhaling cow. Exhaling. And release into a tabletop. For this one, we're going to slowly walk our left hand forward. And with an inhale, we'll bring that right hand out towards our side. We're just coming to this dynamic motion where we're going to sweep this right hand under, and then we're going to come right back up, bring it up. Just follow this motion with your breath. Inhaling up, exhaling under, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. And on this next inhale, bring that hand as high as we can. And as we exhale, we're going to sweep that hand underneath, and this time we're going to place that right ear down towards the mat. And from this position here, we're just going to focus our breath on our upper back. And if you like to challenge yourself, you could come onto the tips of your fingers on your left hand. Just slowly walk them as much forward as you can. And when you're ready, placing that left hand down, and slowly draw that left hand back towards your head. We're just going to slowly unravel ourselves and come right back into our neutral tabletop. All right, so what we do on one side, we'll do to the other. Let's go ahead and walk that right hand forward. Inhale, bring that left hand up, and exhale that sweeping motion. Inhaling up. Exhale, sweeping. Inhaling up. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. And with this inhale, let's go ahead and inhale all the way up. And exhale, slowly planting that left ear down towards the mat. Just breathing life into our upper backs. And the same challenge applies on this side. if we want to come up to the fingertips of our right hand and slowly walk it forward, feel free to do so. And when you're ready, slowly release that right hand down. Just bring it back towards our head and slowly allow ourselves to unravel, coming into that same neutral tabletop. You might notice some new space created by yourselves. Just focusing on our breaths. And with our next inhale, can we bring that right hand, left leg up? Just allow your eyes to gaze maybe just about 6 inches away from the mat. And with our next exhale, slowly bring it down. Just drop our hips back. We're just going to slowly shake out our hands. Spend so much time on our hands, just allow them to release. And when you're ready, slowly come back to our neutral tabletop. We're going to inhale, bring that left hand, right foot up. Couple breaths here. And with your next exhale, slowly release, bringing that knee down. And we're going to slowly drop our hips back, curl our toes underneath us as we prepare for our first downward dog. For inhale, slowly come on up. And from here, you can feel free to pedal your feet. Maybe shake them side to side. Just listening to your body of what you need. And when you're ready, slowly come to a pause. With an inhale, we're going to look forward. Exhale, step forward. You'll find yourself in this forward fold here, just allowing your upper body to drape over your legs. Maybe it's taking your hands and grabbing your elbows, shaking your head if you feel tension in the neck. And when you're ready, slowly release the hands back down towards the mat. With an inhale, take our hands, place them on our shins, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, we're going to slowly rise all the way up. And as we exhale, placing the palms together, bringing the hands to the heart. And from here, if you're not at the front of your mat, we're just going to all meet at the front of our mats. With an inhale, let's go ahead and reach all the way up. And just imagining you're grabbing the stars above. And as you exhale, you're going to dive forward, coming into our forward fold. Inhale, hands on shins, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhaling up. Exhaling, fold. Inhaling, hands on shins. Exhaling, fold. Inhaling all the way up. And exhale, hands to the heart. This time we're going to add one additional element. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, hands on shins. And this time, when we exhale, we're going to plant our hands down, step back with our feet, coming into what's known as a plank. A couple breaths here. Really just noticing for ourselves, where's the energy building in our bodies? And with our next exhale, we're going to shift our toes forward. Just come all the way down to our bellies. From here, we're just going to open our arms into T. It's almost like you're hugging the earth beneath you. And with our next exhale, we're going to take our left hand, just place it right by our left chest. We're going to slowly rotate our bodies to the left. You're going to take your left leg, plant that left foot right behind that right thigh. Really just opening up that chest here. Couple breaths here. And when you're ready, slowly roll on back to center. And just that big hug for our earth once more. And as we exhale, let's go and slowly place that right hand where your right chest is, slowly rotating towards the left, keeping that right foot, placing it right behind that left thigh. Couple breaths here. And when you're ready, slowly come on back to center. One last big hug for the earth beneath us. We're going to just slowly bring the back of our hands on top of one another, and we're going to place our forehead right on top. Few breaths here. And when you're ready, we're going to place both hands by our ribs, curl our toes underneath us, and with an inhale, push right on up back to that plank. And with an exhale, we're going to drop our hips back into our downward dog. Couple breaths here. And at your own pace, slowly drop your knees about mat width apart. And just bringing those big toes together as we slowly drop our hips back and just gazing forward at the front of our mats. And when you're ready, just slowly come on up to all fours. Swing your legs right in front of you. And we're just going to prepare just to recline on our backs. Just plant the soles of your feet about just 90 degrees. And with our next inhale, we'll just bring those hips slightly off the mat. And as we exhale, slowly allowing our backs, our hips right down. Slowly extend your left leg, extending that right leg. Just bringing a lot of intention into our movements here. You'll take your right hand. We're just going to grab that left shoulder, just really pulling it towards your right side, and just allowing it to slowly fall right back down towards the mat. You'll do the same to that right side, just grabbing that right shoulder, pulling it towards the left, and allowing it to fall right back down. And for the last one, you'll take both hands and just create a pillow behind your head. And you're going to slowly just feel like you're drawing your head forward, sliding your hand up until your head's completely onto the mat. You'll just place your hands by your side, palms facing up, coming to our final pose, the corpse pose. Just allowing your bodies to come into full rest as we release into the mat. And slowly bring our awareness back into the room. If your eyes were closed, gently open them. Just wiggle your toes, your fingers, really just bringing our awareness back into this room. And at your own time and pace, slowly roll over to one side as we slowly push ourselves right back up, coming into our final seated position. Just allowing our breaths to guide us. And for this next breath work, really going to build energy for the rest of the day. So with our next inhale, can we inhale and just count silently to ourselves for 4 seconds? And when you're at the top of that inhale, can you just hold that breath for another 4 seconds? And then slowly exhale. Just follow that pattern for 3 more breaths. Inhaling for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. And exhale. Inhaling for 4. Hold. Exhale. One more time. Inhaling. Hold. And release. Just return to your normal breathing. And we'll end as we always do. May the light in me shine with the light in you. Namaste. Thank you everybody for your practice.
Okay, why don't we get started with just doing a sitting meditation for maybe 3 minutes, and so we can do the transition from basically one limb of the yoga practice. There are 8 limbs. One limb of the yoga practice is the asana, the practice of the body, which we call yoga. And then now transitioning to another limb, called the Pranayama. Yama is the practice. Prana is breathing. It's actually one half of breathing. It's called anaprana, basically breathing, but it's particular kind of breathing with your stomach, more precisely breathing with your diaphragm, as opposed to breathing with the upper part of the body. Now, when we were born, the only thing that we know how to do is to breathe with the diaphragm, because we didn't have any other developed muscle. That was the only thing that was developed when we were inside the mother's womb. So this is actually how we started. And there's a lot of benefit in breathing with the diaphragm as opposed to breathing with the upper body. But before we do that, I'd like to kind of say that my practice could be called mindfulness in motion. Basically, taking mindfulness meditation away from just sitting. Sitting is just one of the postures, one of the 4 postures. We meditate when we sit, we meditate when we stand, we meditate when we walk, and we meditate when we lie down, when we sleep. So when we sit, stand, and lie down, then that's meditate when you are in still form. And we can also meditate when we walk and when we exercise. Each posture has a form. We sit like the bell, we stand like the pine tree, we walk like the wind, and we lie down like the bow, like in bow and arrow. So the first thing I want to go through is the proper sitting posture as far as the Taoists and the Buddhists are concerned. And it's called the 7-point support posture. Basically, you divide your body into 7 parts, and you examine each part, and each part being a component of the bell. First of all, we go to our legs. The legs are the pedestal for the bell. So what we try to do is not to use any muscle. Muscle is the fire element. And when we sit, we like to use the earth element, which is the bone structure. And so if you find yourself having to lift up your leg when you sit, try to put some blankets and pillows so that you're not using any leg muscle. Just think of your legs as the pedestal. The second support are the hands. We recommend that you don't raise your hand. We don't do any hand gesture. Just rest your hand for now. The hand gestures are important, but not right now. And so you can rest it on your knee, on your thigh, on your calf, on your feet, anywhere. Now, those of you who are watching us on YouTube, you don't actually have to sit like we do. You can actually just sit on the chair. But when you do sit on the chair, make sure that you're not dangling your feet. So your height of the chair has to be such that the feet are firmly on the ground, right below the knee, not too high, not too short. The third part is the most important, and it's the spine. So I want you to focus on the bottom of the spine. I want you to imagine yourself walking up the spine towards the top of the head, very slowly. And as you walk up, I want you to stretch your spine towards the ceiling, as if you're hanging your spine on the ceiling. If you sit like the bell, the spine is like the clapper inside the bell. It needs to be hanged from the ceiling. Then I want you to lean back. As you lean back, I want you to sense the change in your body, and I want you to sense the lightness, meaning that you're now putting the weight of your upper body on your spine and not relying on the muscle in the back. And then I want you to relax. Then I want you to focus on top of the shoulder and lift up that shoulder as far up as you can. And then I want you to open the shoulder. And then I want you to relax the shoulder and relax it one more time. Now I want you to focus on your forehead. And I want you to lean back the forehead, putting the ears on top of the shoulder. And again, you will feel some lightness, because now you're putting the weight of your skull, the weight of your head on top of your spine. Your weight of your skull is like 15% of your total weight. It's a lot of weight. And right now, you're not using the neck muscle. But then I want you to tuck in the chin slightly so the top of the head is on top of the spine. Now the Taoists, they call this one pillar supporting the sky. So many of you, if you were here the first time, you heard I use the word qi, qigong. In this case, qi means breathing. So we are actually doing breathing exercise, which is an important part of the qigong practice. But there's another meaning of the qi, which is the energy, the life energy that is in our universe. In Chinese, it's written as sky, earth, and then the essence of sky and earth. So this one pillar supporting the sky posture is actually putting yourself in the center of the universe. Finally, we come to the eyelid. I want you to drop the eyelid, close your eyelid, but don't shut it. Relax your eyelid. This is how the babies sleep. They just relax the eyelid. So you can actually see a little bit of light coming through your eyelashes. Just relax. And finally, this is a part that is a little mystical. I want you to take the tip of the tongue and put it behind your teeth. Close your mouth. Put it where the teeth meets the roof of your mouth. Now this serves multiple purposes. One is that it puts you in the rest and digest mode. A big part of what we do, the pranayama, is a longevity exercise. A longevity exercise means that you're unleashing your self-healing power. And when you put yourself back into the rest and digest, you're basically creating the harmony between your autonomous nervous system. The second purpose is that it forces your saliva. Once you're in the rest and digest, you're reactivating your salivary gland, which is important for digestion, immunity, and reproduction. And you let the saliva flow into your stomach and not into your lung. And finally, this is a mystical part. You actually want to create a conductive path around your upper torso. Now that we sit, I'm going to spend maybe just 3 minutes showing you how to breathe with your stomach. Now, it's going to be very difficult if you haven't done this before, but it will get better. Once we finish this 3 minutes, we're going to start doing that pranayama exercise, which would train you to use your diaphragm. But for now, as a reference point, I want you to just feel your breath. And I want you to say to yourself, I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. One breath at a time. You can feel that your body changes as you breathe in. You can feel that your body changes as you breathe out. Now I want you to anchor your mind on your belly button. When you feel that you're breathing in, I want you to relax the stomach, pointing the belly button forward. Now that might be hard to do, or you might be able to do it, but it will actually create a lot of stress in you. So for now, just use your mind and say, I'm going to relax my stomach, pointing my belly button forward. You don't actually have to do it. Just use your mind. And eventually your body will follow. And when you feel that you're breathing out, I want you to take that belly button and bring it back, collapsing the stomach. Let's do this for 3 minutes as a reference point, and then we'll start with the pranayama exercise. Breathing in, point the belly button forward, relax your stomach. Breathing out, bring your belly button back, collapse the stomach. This is in fact how the yogis breathe. So when they call prana, is when you open your stomach, bringing down the diaphragm, breathing in fresh air. And when they call anaprana, it's the opposite. Collapsing the stomach, pushing up the diaphragm. Exhale all the stale air in your lung. One breath at a time. Stay focused on your belly button. So I mentioned that this is mindfulness in motion. But for now, we're actually doing what not everybody does, is that we meditate while we're sitting. But when we meditate while we're sitting, or when we stand up, or when we lie down, when we walk, we call this the 4 foundations of mindfulness. You can actually practice all 4 foundations in every posture. Right now, we are working on the first foundation, which is on a body. 1 breath at a time. Stay focused. When you breathe in, relax the stomach, pointing the belly button forward. When you breathe out, bring the belly button back. Now the diaphragm is a very interesting part of our body. In engineering, we call this viscoelastic, meaning that it's elastic, but it changes its stiffness, its elasticity, depending on your stress. So the only way that you can actually use your diaphragm is if you are relaxed. That's the reason why we don't use it anymore, because we're under stress all the time. The baby has no problem. The animal has no problem. If you go home and look at your dog and your cat, they breathe with your stomach. And this is actually the healthy way to breathe. There's been a lot of scientific study that says that it can reduce inflammation in your body to the point that it can actually prevent you from having dementia. It's a miracle cure. Okay, all right, so let's get started. This is just a reference point. We'll come back to that. Okay, let's stand up and start doing our breathing exercise. And the breathing exercise looks a lot like Tai Chi. In fact, my master is not only a Shaolin monk, he's also a Tai Chi master. And he actually called it the no-thinking Tai Chi. And the thing that you have to do is you have to constantly focus on your body when you move. Focusing your mind on the center of your palm, but at the same time, feel the change in your body. And there are 6 joints in our body. Tim kind of worked on that for us already, but I want to just do it one more time, just so that you are focused on the right place. So I want you to focus on the center of your palm. I want you to bring up your hand, mind, body together. Last time, Tim called it yoke. That's actually the meaning of yoga, is mind, body together. Now I want you to turn the wrist, but this time it's not just the exercise, but it's really to learn to anchor your mind. And each turn has a beginning and an end. And the beginning is when you examine your mind and you ask yourself, where's my mind? My mind is somewhere else. Well, bring it back. Focus on your wrist. Go from the beginning to the end. And then each turn, you start again. Now we're going to turn the other way. And from the beginning to the end, I want you to completely focus on the wrist. I want you to examine the change of the wrist, any heat, sweat, numbness, any kind of feeling. Now I want you to bring it back down. Again, lift up your shoulder, open your shoulder, relax your shoulder. Again, focus on the center of your palm, bring it back up. And this time, focus on the elbow. 1 turn at a time. Completely focus on your elbow. Each beginning of the turn, examine your mind, bring your mind back. Your mind is always somewhere else. We call that the monkey mind. Now I want you to turn the other way. Again, stay focused. That's why we call this the mindfulness in motion. You can actually practice mindfulness while you move. Now bring it back down. Now we're going to go from the wrist to the elbow to the shoulder. Again, focus on the center of your palm. Bring up your hand this time, cross your palm, bring it in front of you, bring it on top of you, and point the fingers upward, and then now focus on the center of your palm, point the palm outward, feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of that pain, turn the other way around, stretch, bring it back down, One more time, stretch, bring it back down. And now we're going to open again. Feel the pain on your shoulder, let go of the pain, all right? So the Tai Chi masters, they work on 6 joints, 3 on the upper body and the corresponding on the lower part of the body. Now we go to the knee. Again, this is not an exercise, this is really practicing mindfulness. So I want you to stay focused on your knee, 1 turn at a time. Now go the other way, 1 turn at a time. Now we go to the heel. Again, focus on the heel. Each turn, there's a beginning. Bring your mind back. At the end, you recommit. Now let's turn the other way. Stay focused on the heel. Now to the left. 1 turn at a time. 1 turn at a time. And then the other way. Now the human beings is just another 4-legged animal. Back in the days when we were all 4, the wrist and the knee, the elbow and the wrist and the heel, the elbow and the knee, and then the shoulder and the hip, right? These are the 6 joints. Any 4-legged animal has 6 joints. So I want you to feel the hip, stand on the right foot, bring to the left, form a straight line between this heel, the knee, the hip, and the shoulder, and just feel your hip, and then move back, and one more time. Feel your hip, go back, one more time. Now do the other way. Bring it back, feel your hip, and another one, feel it, and then now we're ready. So this whole exercise is really about breathing using the diaphragm, but also about focusing mindfulness on your body. The first one is very simple. Just focus on the center of your palm. Mind, body together, bring it up. 1, bring it towards yourself. 2, bring it down. Feel the knee, and then stand back up. As you bring in your hand, you breathe in, all the way in. And then you breathe out. Close your mouth. Breathe in. Breathe out. Stay focused. Breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now bring up your hands. Cross your hand this time. Sorry about that. Oh, sorry. Okay, now cross your hand this time. Now this is the part that is important. This is actually what the practice is all about. As you breathe out, you don't stop in the middle. You breathe out all the way out. Now the reason is that as you go like this, you open up your chest cage, and the only way that you can breathe out is by lifting your diaphragm. Okay? Now back, breathe in, breathe out. Now, one more time. Breathe in, breathe out. Follow your hand, and then come back. Breathe in, and then breathe out. Now, in between, we're going to do a standing meditation. 1 minute, simple standing meditation. And I mentioned that we sit like the bell, we stand like the pine tree. And so first, you're going to have to move your feet around as if you're growing some roots. Then you have to think about what to do with the rest of the tree. The rest of the tree has to be flexible. So this is the part where you don't lock your knee. You kind of just loosen it up. You don't have to do all this, just kind of loosen up. That way you're using your calf, which is the second heart. This is an important part of your body. And so we talk about the fire. And so the energy is rising. And now we focus on the breath. We're just going to do 1 minute. And again, you focus on your breath the same way that you were focusing on your wrist and your elbow. There's a beginning, and then there's the end. Beginning is when you breathe in. I know I'm breathing in. Then is when you breathe out. I know I'm breathing out. The beginning is when you commit yourself to your 1 cycle, and the end is where you recommit to the next cycle. If you find yourself with the mind drifting away, thinking about something else, it's okay. It's a monkey mind. So you invite your mind back, and then just tell your mind says, let's just do one breath. All we need is one more breath, okay? So let's stand for 1 minute. One breath at a time. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Try not to think about anything else. If your mind is not on your breath, there are only two places where it could be. One is in the past. One is in the future. The past is the past. Time to let go of the past. The future, what happens when the future happens? Everything changes anyway. So just bring it back to the present. Focus on your breath. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Now we go to the second form. The second form is called balloon breathing. First, we put a right foot forward. We stand up, we look straight ahead. We lean back so that the right foot, the toes are up, and now we're looking at the ceiling. We bring up your hands. We stay focused on the center of your palm. We roll our body forward. Now the left heel is up. We're looking at the floor 45 degrees. We will open it back up, looking at the ceiling. As we go forward, we breathe in. And then we open up, we breathe out. We don't stop in the middle. All the way out. We're training the diaphragm. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. One breath at a time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just rock your body. Try not to bend the upper part of your body, because then you're putting stress on your lung. Breathe out. Focus on the center of your palm. Breathe out. Okay? Now lower your hands, going from the center of a palm to the center of the bottom of your feet. 1 step, 2 step. Check the posture. And then 1 minute of standing meditation. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Any thoughts that you might have, just tell yourself, I'll come back to you in a minute. Now I just need to focus on my breathing. I'm practicing mindfulness. I'm anchoring my mind on my breath. One breath at a time. In the old days, we used to have piggy banks, and we would put coins in the piggy banks. Just like that. One coin at a time. One coin at a time. Okay, now to the left. Get ready. Breathe in. Now, earlier I called this is very much like Tai Chi, right? Some basic exercise of the Tai Chi. But it's called no thinking Tai Chi, meaning that I want you to focus on how your body feels. There's a thing called sensation. When your body feels, the world feels itself, it sends signal to the spiral cord. It's only when you think that it sends the signal to your brain. Open up. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now lower your hand. 1 more minute. Okay. Now the spiral cord, the sensation system, the nerve system can process signal, and this is something that Venerable D. Hall had talked about, can process it 10 billion times a second, whereas the brain can only process 10 times a second. That's why when you think, when the athletes, the golf players, the professional basketball players, the samurais, they all practice no thinking. They just want to feel the body without thinking. We often call it getting in the zone. Just feel it without judging it. Okay, now it gets a little bit more and more challenging. This one is going to be very challenging. It's called the butterfly. So again, you stand firmly, open that shoulder, relax the shoulder, focus on the center of your palm, bring it up, and then bring it back down, lower your knee, straight down. Bring it back up, and this time raise the heels, stand on your toes, focus on the center of your palm until you get to the top of the head, back of the hand is touching. Come back down. As you come down, breathe in. As you go out, you breathe out, breathe out. Don't stop until you get to the top. And then breathe in, breathe out. In, out. In, out. In, out. One more time. Stay focused. In, and out. Now focus on the center of your palm. Bring it back down. And another minute of standing meditation. Okay. Now the fourth is called push hand. This one definitely looks a lot like Tai Chi. This time, again, with the left foot forward, but you stand looking straight ahead. Imagine there's a water wheel going around in front of you, or maybe the other way. Now you focus on the center of your palm, you bring up your hand on the outside of the water wheel, all the way to the top of the water wheel. You bring it back down. As you bring it back down, you lower your left foot as you're sitting on it, so that your hands are around your waist, your hip. And then you're looking straight ahead, see the center of your water wheel, and you push. Now, the trick is no thinking, okay? Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. Now, what does it mean by no thinking? You're now thinking, am I doing it right? How do I look? Do I look stupid? What does the guy next to me think about me? That's thinking. That's judging. That's judging yourself. So try not to judge. Just let it free. Close your eye. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now, you guys are too young to remember the movie Karate Kid. In the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi was teaching karate, and he sent the kids to wax his car. And the kid doesn't understand why he would do that. And he just taught him, Miyagi taught him, wax on, wax off. And that's what you're doing here. Imagine You like waxing your car, but you're not thinking it, you're feeling it. Wax on, breathe out, wax off, breathe in. One more time, breathe out, and then breathe in. And back to the standing. Okay, so this is the last movement, and then after this, then we're ready to do sitting meditation again. Again, looking straight ahead, see the water wheel in front of you, focus on the center of your palm, roll forward, following the outside of the water wheel to the top, bring it all the way down, and then push. Very slowly, breathe in, very gently, very softly. Breathe in, breathe out. In, open the shoulder, and then breathe out as if you're pushing it from the back of your hip. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. Now, back in the days, thousands and thousands of years ago, when the Chinese invented what is now called Qigong, they used 4 animals, or is it 5? 5 animals. They used tiger, bear, like the black bear, the monkey, the deer, and the bird. And right now, you're actually practicing the tiger and the bear. Let me explain. As you bring your hand back, you open your shoulder, you feel the strength in the back. That's tiger. You drop your hand on the outside of your hip and you push, like someone is pushing on your lower back. And that's the bear. Breathe in, open that shoulder. Breathe out as if someone is pushing from the back. One more time. In, out, back. Now, when you do this on your own, try to do it as slow as you can, okay? As slow as you can, all right? This is the last 1 minute standing meditation, then we're going to go to the sitting meditation. One breath at a time. Okay, now let's just sit down. Again, stay focused on your body as you sit down. Okay, now we're going to go and adjust the posture with the 7 points. Calibrate your legs, your hands, your spine, your shoulder, your forehead and your chin, your eyelid, and the tip of your tongue. All spiritual practice in the East, whether they are Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, or Japanese can all trace back to North India, can all trace back to the yogic practice. The yogic think of our existence in 5 layers. The most outer layer, they call it the food body. This is what when we consume a breakfast, it creates a body. The second layer is actually our thinking mind. Go all the way into the inner layer, in the very center, is a karma. You can think of the karma like trauma. Trauma is karma. And Buddha talks about that all the time. Sometimes trauma is things that we suffer when we were young. Sometimes it's trauma that our parents suffer during the time of war. Whatever it is, it's very deep in us. And our behavior is very much influenced by that. That's the center. Outside of that is what we call the ego, the identity. Wars are fought, people are fighting each other, gangs are formed because of the identity. So you have the 2 inner layer and the 2 outer layer. In the middle is the energy layer. The North Indians, the yogis, they think that there's 72,000, or this is 74,000, I lost count, or what's called nadis, energy that comes into a body and going back out to the universe. When that comes to the Chinese, because they study astrology, they decided to simplify it. They decided to reduce it to only 12 meridians, each one active for 2 hours to make up the 24-hour clock. So today, we're not going to work on the 12 meridians. Next week, when we get together, if we get together, I'm going to alternate to another exercise that will work on the 12 meridians. But then there are additional 2 primary vessels. One in the back, coincide with the spine, and one in the front. We're going to work on that. But before we do that, let's come back to when we started, what we started, which is to focus on our stomach. Again, we're going to do 3 minutes of what we did by focusing on the belly button. I know I'm breathing in. I want to point my belly button forward. I know I'm breathing out. I'm going to point my belly button back. Now you notice that after the exercise, this gets a lot easier, it gets a lot more obvious because your body has built up some muscle memory and you were actually using your diaphragm to breathe when you were doing exercise. The body remembers that. And so when you breathe in, your stomach actually opens because the diaphragm is coming down, and when you breathe out, the diaphragm is being pushed up. This is the most basic exercise. It's the first part of what the Chinese, the Taoists, call microcosmic orbit. It translated into English, it's basically cultivating the breath to create the qi. The qi is in your lower stomach, something that we call dan tian. Dan means fire, tian means feel. So let's come back to a posture, sit up straight, forming the 1 pillar supporting the sky, open the shoulder, lean back the forehead, tuck in the chin, relax the eyelid, make sure the tip of the tongue is behind the teeth. And just 1 breath at a time. We're running out of time, so let's just jump to the second part. The second part is after we create the qi in the dantian in the lower stomach. What exactly does that mean? Well, when you're breathing with your diaphragm, you're massaging your intestine. The intestines are piezoelectric, so they actually generate a lot of static electricity. The next part, the Chinese are very smart. They guide those electricities through our spine by creating a potential, a voltage potential. How do you do that? You use the chamber between your left brain and your right brain. But it's a lot simpler than that. All you have to do is start at the lower part of your spine, The minute that you know that you're breathing in, you go up the spine, you stretch the spine upward towards the top of the head. And then when you know that you breathe out, you come from the top of the head, through your forehead, through the nose, you breathe your nose, down through the tongue. That's why we do this. Come back to the belly button and you lean back and relax. When you breathe in, you go up, stretch your spine. It's very important that you stretch your spine because it lowers the resistance. And then when you come down, you relax. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, let's sit for 5 minutes and then we are way over time. Okay? Now, you guys are too young. I came to this country in 1971 when I was 15 years old. I'm 70 this year. I'll be celebrating my 70th birthday. Back in the days, you can actually get a driver permit at 15. They raised it to 17 now. So I conned my father into signing permission so I can get a driver's permit. And back in the days, everybody drive. You know, you drive with a driver's permit. And my first car was a 1965 Chevrolet with a V8 engine. I remember that very well. And we didn't have any money. I bought it with $250, money that I earned from working in the Chinese laundry. And the first thing I did was that I changed the spark plug wire. You don't know what a spark plug is, but you drive a Tesla, what do you know? So it's a V8 engine, meaning that it had 8 wires that goes into something called distributor, something you don't know. And so first thing I did is I went down to the auto shop and I bought a bunch of wires. It was red color, matched my upholstery. And I lined up really nice, run it there, nice. And I start the engine and it misfire. It misfire. I said, what the heck? I only changed the wire. So I called in my older neighborhood kid and I said, what happened? He said, no, you can't do that. What do you mean? No, you cannot make it knit like that. Why? Well, you make it knit like that, it's going to misfire. Well, after I was in college, I realized what happened is that when you run electricity through a wire, it creates a magnetic field. And when you put 2 wires in parallel, the magnetic field, one wire affects the other. And so even though you're firing one spark plug, it automatically applies the one next to it. And so we don't do that. Now, what we just did is essentially the same as lining up 2 spark plug wires. It's called magnetic coupling. By stretching your spine, by running through your spine like that, you're creating a coherent electric field. The magnetic field couples with the magnetic field in the universe. And if you practice like this, you will feel qi coming up your spine. It's real. But it needs practice. It needs concentration. Okay? And that's when people say it's a qigong practice, that's what they mean. They start from qi. The Chinese word for qi can mean breathing. Breathing with the diaphragm, creating the electricities in your dantian, and then guiding the dantian up and down. And that's why my master never called this qigong. This is a very modern word. The word that he used, that they used for thousands of years, is called Dao Yin. Dao means to guide. So it's the same word as people say, oh, it's Dao, like the Taoist Dao. It's not that word. It's the same word, but added another part to it that means to guide. So a teacher is someone who guides you. That's Dao. Yan means to entice. So this practice should actually be called Dao Yin because you're guiding your qi, and then from guiding, you go from guiding to enticing. In other words, when you see a teacher, in the beginning, he guides you every step of the way. And then at some point, he's going to have to let go. And that's what you do with the qi, is in the beginning, you're guiding it up and you're guiding it down. You're guiding it up and you're guiding it down. And then eventually, you learn to let go. You sense, but you don't judge. You sense, you don't judge. And that's the second part. It's a very, very interesting practice. But it has its roots in North India. So coming back to the 5 layers that the North Indians talk about, Asana, the yoga practice, is the first part. It's about the fruit body. And when Tim says, let it go and just focus on, that's now we're getting to the second layer, which is the thinking mind. And then ultimately, it's a spiritual practice. What we want to do is let go of the ego and the identity, and then not only that, but let go of the trauma or the karma. And the bridge is the qi, is the energy. That's why yoga is ultimately a spiritual practice. It's a practice for enlightenment. Okay? Now, when we say namaste, And I mentioned, I hear Tin says, how do you say it? How do you translate namaste?
The light in me shines with the light in you.
Let the light in ye shine with the light in you. Now, nama state, nama is one half of our existence. Our existence is called nama rupa. Rupa consists of a fruit body and a thinking mind. Nama is everything else. Unfortunately, nama is covered by our ego and our trauma. If you could remove your ego and you can outgrow your trauma, you will see the light. The light is like the sun. The sun always shines upon you. We're like the earth. The only time that we don't see a light, the only time that we don't see a sun is when we turn our back to it, or when we're covered with dark cloud. Spiritual practice is about removing the black cloud. That's why we always said when we finish, namaste. May my light meet your light. That is our ultimate goal, to remove all what we call the hindrances. Okay? So hope to see some of you next week. It's a big improvement from last week. Last week we didn't have any student. But actually, let me apologize. Some of you did commit to this, but then didn't know that I was going to record. And so I record because there are a lot of students out there who are interested in this class, particularly interested in how yoga plays into meditation. And so we have to find a balance. So hopefully the recording is good today, and I'll be able to share with even the students who had said that they would come but couldn't come for one reason or another. And then we'll just keep working. All right? So all of us who come here have responsibility for ourselves, but also have responsibility for the larger community. If you didn't come today, there would be no class. So the 50 students who are waiting for this class, nothing happens. Right? So we all have our responsibility, just like Tin and I. We take our responsibility very seriously. We were here to share, right? Okay, thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
All right.